Hey there, guys, and welcome back to the Open Mid Leaguecast episode 6. We're going to be talking about everything for the NA LCS and NA Academy for week 5. So, first, we're going to tackle Academy. I think Academy this week was definitely very interesting, especially for certain teams, whichever one you want to talk about first.
I think the big thing that's happened this week is Dig Academy losing another game.
Yeah.
Honestly, after their first loss, I thought they fix up the draft a bit and not do these kind of like super early game teams anymore, right?
Mm-hmm.
But their loss to TL was like pretty. It was like what I'll call like an actual loss, quote unquote, because they drafted like a very standard comp,
Mm-hmm.
and then they lose early. They start to bring it back, and then they just kind of lose the game
Yeah.
off of the backdoor from tactical.
Mm-hmm.
With ballsy call, I gotta say, like just sacking the team fight and going for that. Um,
Yeah, I mean, it was just kind of troll that Dig just let the wave build up like that, enough for it to take the tower and the inhib sort of thing. So I thought that was like a huge like grief play, and then the fact that TL opted into the or into the TP instead of the heal bottom was pretty interesting, and that just allowed them to win the game in the end. Uh,
I mean, they
but
still ran heal on support.
yeah, but just taking like I guess no offensive summoners bottom in general. And then it just felt like that Dig were like running themselves into a brick wall trying to like fight them every single time. And like their team fighting tools are like okay, but they're not like great sort of thing into like what TL has, which is like MF, Braum, a lot of zoning, and like Gragas that just like disrupted the team fight entirely.
I think that's the hard thing about playing against Gragas when you have immobile carries like Varus and Syndra
Mm-hmm.
is the fact that Ornn and Jarvan, like they're kind of like going in, right? They're engaging, and if Gragas like separates the damage from the fight, so if he separates, so basically Varus is the only sustained damage in a fight.
Mm-hmm.
Syndra's like very bursty, not really gonna. I mean, against this particular team comp, she can do work, because it's not very tanky. She is countered a bit by Braum, but the main damage in the fights was supposed to be Phoenix, and I feel like his build it was good, and he was surviving a lot because they had a lot of poke damage. But in the team fights, it didn't look like he was putting out a lot of damage. And they were just getting like Gragas ultied away, and it was pretty hard for them to like. So basically, the tanks are just getting separated, and they're just not able to get a really clean fight off.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you saw in later parts of the game, like they were winning fights because they're just too tanky at that point. Like MF's not gonna kill an Ornn, Zoe's not gonna kill Ornn, and at that point, it's really like Dig should win, but because of how they fell behind, they end up losing. And I mean, they don't have like I guess the reason like that bot wave builds is because Baron's up and they don't have TP. So if they try and clear that bot wave, then they might be just giving the Baron, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because nobody can wave clear it and then get like. I think they maybe should have used Tom Kench ulti, like send Syndra down there, clear it, and then like Tom Kench ulti closer. That could have been a thing. But I think the range isn't as far unless you hit level 16, right?
Uh, it's still pretty far for level 11, I believe. Like they increased the range for all of them, I believe, after rank 1. So I think it would have been a pretty decent play if they were to just, like you said, send Cinder down there, Tom Kench ulti. Because like Tom Kench ult late game's not gonna do much. Like you're not gonna like make a flank play or something like that. So I think they probably should have just used Tom Kench ulti in that sort of scenario, like you described it.
Yeah. I mean, I think like the team comp from TL somehow kind of won. The Gragas was pretty good, but I think that we go back to like the same thing where for some reason in Academy Zoe wins like every game, but in LCS she loses like every game, except like when it's played by like Niski or Jensen.
Hmm.
But in that in Academy she just always wins, and in LCS she loses a lot. I think it's I think we talked about like how LCS teams punish it more than say the Academy teams do, right?
Yeah. And like Dig pulled a pretty similar comp against IMT. They just instead of Ornn they had Soraka. So, but I think the reason why they won better with that comp was because IMT's comp was like kind of trash and they were inting it early.
Yeah, I mean, I gotta say, IMT drafts are like pretty weird. Like when they were winning with it, it seemed fine, right? But
Hmm.
when they're losing with it, it's like, are you trolling?
Yeah.
Because they ran Pantheon Elise, right? So like
Pantheon
really
Elite
good.
splits.
Yeah, Pantheon Elite splits. So basically, they're just like, all right, guys, we're gonna win this shit in like 15 minutes, or we're gonna lose. And I don't think there was any way for them to close this game out quickly versus Tom Kench Soraka. Those
Yeah.
champions just stall the game out
Hmm.
because they force you like to not die. So I think it's really hard to snowball in this kind of comp. I mean, there's the Blitzcrank counter pick, right?
Hmm.
But I feel their comp had like you slap an Ornn in there and it's like, all right, well, why put Ornn in if you're just trying to like snowball? Don't you want something that you can snowball harder with? It's like they
Yeah.
try to put Ornn like as insurance policy, but it doesn't matter
Hmm. Because
because
the team count is
the rest of the team.
yeah, it just doesn't have enough damage the later the game goes,
Yeah,
unfortunately.
I mean, yeah, we already know like fucking Misfortune can't kill tanks, so it doesn't help if she's versus double tank and then fucking Soraka, right?
Hmm.
She's never gonna kill anything. I mean, we saw the same thing in the TL dig game. Like eventually, tactical. I mean, tactical didn't get a single kill or an assist. He ended the game. Actually, no. I think he did get. No, he ended the game 0-2-0, and he backdoored the Nexus. Like he
Yeah.
did nothing. He didn't do anything. He didn't have any KP. Granted, they only had 4 kills, right?
Yeah.
So,
He was
but
there
at
though.
that
He
point,
was there.
yeah, it's realistically, I'm not surprised if his damage numbers were ridiculously low for this game, right?
Hmm.
He's just not going to kill anything on the enemy team. Varus is protected by Tom Kench. Jarvan and Ornn are too tanky. If you walk up the Syndra, you're getting one shot. Like, it was a hard game for Tactical to play, but props to him. He did enough, right? I guess.
Yeah.
Or do you think he did like nothing and he just backdoored?
He was just playing the game.
He's just playing the game. I feel like a lot of ADCs are just like, yeah, I'm just playing, man. My team's doing stuff, right?
Yeah. It's kind of hard to like make like defining plays as an AD in competitive, I would say.
Yeah. Um, but this loss to TL, I mean, they really shouldn't have fallen behind early game. I
Yeah.
think I feel like they kind of trolled a bit in some of their fights. Just kind of like uncoordinated at times, and it's almost like they walked in thinking like, "Oh, we're gonna win anyway," because like TL was 3-6, and I feel like the kind of disrespect on it's what we talked about before, like disrespect in draft and then disrespect in play. And I think
Yeah.
in this case they disrespect their draft was standard, but their play was kind of suboptimal.
Yeah.
I
Because
mean,
like,
Acadian had a good early game,
mhm,
top side.
definitely the early league game from Dig for this game was like fine, and then like they started throwing like mid game and like TL got a couple kills topside and stuff like that. So it just seems like Dig just needs to like I know it's Academy, but they need to like stop trolling because getting backdoored like that's like really dumb, especially when you have Tom Kench, because you can just use his ulti, and I think a lot of players just like forget about that. They're like, oh shit, Tom Kench has a ulti.
Oh yeah, like that's the weird thing, right? Because when you think back, like 2 years ago, literally the only thing Tom Kench was picked for was like he protects AD and you have a global ultimate, and you just 3v1 somewhere. I remember people would just Lock time Kench, ulti behind tier 1 top and just dive someone.
Mm-hmm.
And it was... I'm glad they nerfed it, but now I feel like people just completely forgot that shit fucking exists, right? It's like, I think
Yeah.
you just use it to get to lane faster at this point.
Mm-hmm. People don't
Uh,
really use it at all.
offensively anymore, yeah.
Yeah.
I think that kind of what separates a good Tahm Kench, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Not that there's much to separate Tahm Kench players. You press W. You feel that?
You press W, you sit on your AD, you know.
You proc Guardian. You know.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Does Guardian proc inside the stomach?
It can, but you're gonna be standing next to your AD, so it's gonna proc eventually.
Okay. I was curious, like, if they eat you and then, like, you do damage to them, does it just proc it? Like, does it save you from Ignite? That's what I'm curious about.
Yeah, it can.
Okay, that's cool. Alright, so let's see. I mean, another interesting thing to talk about would be the resurgence of both not IMT, Golden Guardians and Cloud9 Academy, who are both on 4-game win streaks. Thoughts on the two teams?
I guess we'll talk about Golden Guardians first. So, the game against FlyQuest. I don't know what the fuck FlyQuest were doing early, but this was the Academy Rush game. So maybe you didn't like catch it all, but holy shit, FlyQuest were straight up trolling the early game. I don't know what the hell they were doing, but they were just running it. It was just like bad play after bad play, and I was just like, you guys need to like stop the bleeding. And then like Revenge TP'd bottom with like 2 HP, then died, and I was like, wait, what?
This was the game where they were like 5k ahead at like 15. Like
Yeah.
it was not. They were up 10 kills to 3. It was actually kind of gross watching it because when you look at the team comp, I mean, this is also the fucking set support game, right?
Yeah,
So,
it was set support, so I guess they just disrespected it.
yeah, and I'm just sitting here like looking at the. First of all, I saw the Kindred pick. I'm like, all right, they're trolling.
Definitely.
From FlyQuest, like Kindred, that shit is gross. It's like, didn't you see fucking Sven and Tanya in week 1? Like, why the fuck are you picking this shit? Like 4 weeks later, 5 weeks later, whatever it is.
Yeah.
I mean,
I know
Golden
like
Guardians-
junglers in general and like NA are like practicing it in like solo queue, but solo queue it's different.
I feel like you just don't have an impact.
Yeah, it's super
And
hard
especially
to
with the
have an
tank
impact
buffs.
early. That too.
Yeah, and we talked about it last week on when we were discussing the patch, but fucking buffing tank items is like a slippery slope, right? Because then
Yeah.
you're just sitting in a complete tank meta, which is what I think we're gonna be in like for at least a while until they nerf certain things.
Yeah, especially since the Bombi Cinder thing,
Yeah.
like that just does damage. So like I've been watching some low pally and he just builds it on like Nautilus Leona, and I'm like, that's probably a good idea. Because
I don't think it makes you tankier than Stone Plate though.
I mean, probably not, but like you just do more damage, you know. So
So
like
now instead of getting sent to 100 HP by the Leona support, I'll get killed. I'll get one shot. You know?
you'll actually die. Yeah.
I actually die. Yeah, that'll be so much fun. Actually, as an ADC, that's fucking awful, dude. I remember Perkson was getting solo killed by Leona in one game in ELCS or in LEC, sorry, and I was just like, holy fuck, this champion's so dumb. How do you get 1v1 by a support? Just because you're like just because you're squishy, right? Like support still shouldn't deal damage like that and be tanky.
Happens, but
I mean, you're just like, let me do damage, please.
Of course. But moving on from the Golden Guardians FlyQuest game, because I legit think that FlyQuest just like entered the draft, into their play, and Golden Guardians just like took advantage of that.
It was, I don't know. Like Golden Guardians had the scaling comp and they fucking won the early game. I'm just like fucking confused.
Yeah, because they were legit trolling early. Like Fnatic and JJ were like under tower, but like you could see them like posturing for the dive, and they like stood under tower. Then Revenge came in, like I said earlier, and TP'd in and like killed himself. And I was
this
like,
was the dumbass fucking TP play at the bot tier 1. I'm
Yep.
remembering this now.
it was so bad.
It was 1 kill to 0, and then all of a sudden it's 5 kills to 1. And I'm remembering this dive was so fucking awful. Holy shit. They only got 1 kill because they couldn't tank tower anymore.
Yep.
Dumbest shit I've seen. God. This was so dumb, honestly. Like they just ran it down early game. The game was over at this point, right? Like
Yeah, like even if they somehow like scaled with the Azir Kindred, like it doesn't matter because they have GP, Victor, MFs, and goddamn Sejuani. So
the
they
set support is interesting though.
yeah, I think it's all right if like because like I played against a set bottom, in my solo queue game and that shit was dumb because my AD just like disrespected. Also, he kind of just like runs up on you and then like
Yeah,
presses his
yeah, he
abilities
literally just
too.
runs up on you. It's
So
kind of annoying, honestly,
yeah,
cause like move speed is one of the thing when you don't think about like mobility. Move speed is literally the most broken thing ever. Like you're just
yeah.
walking and you literally just can't walk. You just can't get away. You're just dead sometimes, right?
hmm
It's like if you're versus someone with swiftness boots and you have no boots, you're just sitting there like, all right, I'm gonna get caught. Like, should I even bother flashing? They're gonna catch me eventually.
Yeah, and that's why like some support players prefer just getting Mobies because like you can just run at them.
You're so gross. I'm imagining like a Thresh player just running up on me and flying. That's the classic Thresh play. It's like you run up with Mobies, you flay. You don't
Yep,
even bother throwing the hook out.
you flay and then you just watch them suffer from the slow.
Yeah, they're just like I always get this, man. I'm trying to juke. I'm like, man, should I just go straight or should I go left? Like, should I back up? I don't think I should fucking stutter step here because I'll just get fucking caught anyway. And then like I'm like,
Yeah,
oh, maybe I should flash. And then they predict my flash. And I'm like, all right, I guess I'm done. I guess I'm dead. It's
I
like when
guess
you
it's
blow
over.
flash versus thresh, you're just like, all right, I guess it's over.
Yeah, shit gets hella
Feels
hard.
bad.
But the other
Feels
Golden
bad.
Guardians game was against 100 Thieves, and 100 Thieves definitely entered the draft in my opinion. I don't know why they so like they first picked the Yumi, right? And then they don't pick the support first rotation. So then Thresh, Tom Kench get banned, which like Tom Kench, I'm like, that's a very int ban into Yumi in my opinion. And then they picked the Braum, which is a int pick because we've seen that in LCS where it's like, all right, Biofoss like picked Braum into, or he picked Braum and then they would pick Yumi FlyQuest and then like the Yumi just like outscaled and like just did more in general because it's super hard for Braum CC to like lock down a Yumi and like catch her out sort of thing.
I think it's kind of impossible, like unless you hit the fucking ulti, and even then, that's really hard, right?
Yeah, like unless the Yumi's like actually running it down, it's so hard for Braum to like catch anyone. So or like catch the Yumi in general.
I mean, this was another like to take it from LS. It's like a sin draft. You drafted Lucian, Elise, Pantheon. You're just like, all right, guys, let's win in 15 minutes or we lose. I
Yeah,
mean, Lucian scales, right? But Pantheon, Elise don't scale
you
at
mean
all.
Varus?
What are you talking about? They played Lucian top.
Oh yeah. That was later in the draft.
Yeah, so they pick like Pantheon, Elise, and then they take Lucian top. And again, it's the same thing. Like if you're gonna draft Pantheon, Elise, Lucian, like at least like commit, man. Go early game, right? Or like maybe send the Lucian bot for like lane. I don't think Lucian can win versus MF Yumi though, right?
Uh, maybe more kill pressure because like the 100 Thieves
With
bottom
Braum.
lane were definitely like they got help from contracts, so like they were definitely like pressuring like kills, which they did get a kill on Gorica, but like one kill early game is not gonna like make the difference necessarily. And also Breezy like into the flash queue, but it's okay. They still got the kill. But yeah, I mean like the J4 from Hard was just like running in, and just like killing everyone. So
I mean, the thing is that was like really depressing was I guess it kind of shows the difference between academy players and LCS players, right? Is that in LCS like we'll talk about like the actual Golden Guardians game later, but like the difference between Fake Gods Lucian and some days Lucian is like night and fucking day, man. Like you see what a good player does with Lucian, especially when you counterpick. Um,
yeah,
and it was just so gross. But like, I think this is a problem where like Fake God probably is like, yo, oh Lucian's the counterpick to GP here. This will go great. And then it's like, all right, but what about the rest of your team comp, fam? It's like, all right, well, I guess we lose. Like, there's
yeah.
only one AP threat. I mean, I guess Varus is mixed damage, right? But
hmm
not enough, I think, right? It's like
I think it
you
was.
don't force anybody to go merc treads.
I think it was a big mistake picking Pantheon early. I don't know if they should have done that.
I think if you're gonna pick Pantheon, it has to be like late in the draft, right? Like
Yeah, like it
you
has to
just
be
you
like a
just
super good matchup for Pantheon where it's like Pantheon's 100% gonna win this. Sort of like when C9 picked Pantheon and it was like into Yasuo and like Niski kind of just like shut on the lane, and also because
yeah.
Ica entered it, but
So, I mean, it's like probably a counter pick. I mean, it's not. I don't know. Ica in that game like picked Yasuo into fucking Pantheon,
that too.
and
So
you got you got shit on. Like, you could have played anything, man. Whatever. Aside from that, I mean, Golden Guardians they're on a 4-game win streak. Their wins this week kind of seem like they draft gifted their opponents, right? Like, I mean, FlyQuest is trolling in the first one. They really were running it, and then in the second one, it's like, yo, this draft is dog shit because at 12 minutes, fucking Golden Guardians is ahead with a later game comp than 100 Thieves. At that point, like I think the 100 Thieves players are like, damn, we're actually behind at 12 minutes with our early game comp. Fucking GG, it's over. Like that's what I feel like when you're playing an early game comp and you actually fall behind. You're just like, all right, it's over, right?
yeah, I don't know why these academy teams are like. I mean, I guess it's like limit testing sort of thing. Like, all right, guys, this shit worked in scrims the other day. Let's try it out on stage, and it's like, oh,
That's the
fuck.
fucking shit I hate, dude.
Yeah,
Like,
it's actually like kind of troll to like go all in on early game. Like you can play towards the early game, but you shouldn't like all in on it, sort of thing. Because at that
yeah,
point, if it doesn't work out, the game's over at a certain point. So, which is kind of like what 100 Thieves were facing. Because like every single time Hard engaged, it was just on top of a Yumi ult as well. So, yeah, Cataclysm Yumi ult, it's kind of doomed. You can't really like escape that.
yeah. But what do you think of Golden Guardians Academy now that we're kind of we're halfway through the split now?
Hmm.
Actually, before we go to that, let's talk about Cloud9 Academy's resurgence also. 4-game win streak as well, right? Um, and their games this week were CLG, so kind of like a free win, right? And then
Hmm.
IMT, which is kind of like the big one, where we watched this on stream. It was interesting because I feel like the draft they did send a support. IMT did, right? And their
Yeah,
team comps are always weird,
yeah.
a
They
little bit
also had
weird.
Diana and Urgot.
Yeah. So their team comps are always a little bit weird. Um, I'm surprised they didn't try and do the Senna strat that we saw Cloud9 do this
Yeah,
weekend
with the Tom Kench.
with the Tom Kench. Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
but I mean, when Gate like walked in the lane and then Diamond just ran at him, and I was like, you kind of entered the lane there, Gate. Like that is not good. It's literally double range versus a Tom Kench, and then you int the lane
and
as the
Varus.
double range.
You
Yeah,
can't run. You can't run versus
hmm
Tom Kench Varus.
like how did you not know that? Like
Yeah.
just
I
playing
mean,
like
it was kind of.
super disrespectful sort of thing.
I mean, okay, continue. Sorry.
That's it. That's it. That's all I have to
Okay.
say.
I mean, I'm just like somehow Cloud9 first picked Tom Kench on blue side, and it was just like, all right, let's just not pick anything to counter this. Let's just
Yeah.
let's just lose. Like they pick Senna, they pick Ragus, and I'm just like, all right, well, all right, let's see some like fucking epic shit, right? Like I know Cloud9 hadn't done it yet, but I bet it's like Dig Academy did it, so like it's been around, right? Like it's getting kind of played and probably in scrims a lot.
Hmm.
Surprised they didn't go for it, honestly.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, Cloud9 just kind of ran them over this game. I think both Cloud9. I think the surprising one is the fact that Cloud9 like steamrolled Immortals. I'm
Yeah.
not surprised they steamrolled CLG.
Okay, so with the CLG game,
Not
so
surprised.
fire CLG Academy's coach because this fucking draft is hot garbage. Like this
Dude,
shit
I'm
is
telling
so
you, the
bad.
players don't care anymore.
Oh my god. All right, so when you look at the draft, right? CLG, they have GP, Karthus, Oriana, Philios, and fucking Galio. So Galio is their main engage, But the ulti on Galio is the most important part. So who's gonna help Galio bring the ulti in? Fucking nobody.
Yeah,
So
no, nobody's doing shit here,
it's
man.
actually like the most in comp they could come up with. And then on top of that, they have Karthus. So they're not doing anything early game wise when it comes to jungle. Compared to a Rek'Sai, who was like actually just running it down bot and just killing them over and over again. So yeah, I have
I
no
mean,
idea where the Galio support pick came from, but that shit was hella troll.
I think this is one of those games where people say like, "Oh, you pick scaling versus early game, you fucking lost." Ha ha ha. And it's like CLG inted their fucking basically they're like, "Yo, we will have zero pressure in scaling. We will only scale. This comp only comes online 35 minutes into the game."
Mm-hmm.
And this is the kind of draft people say like, "Oh, why would you play scaling, right? Because you have like no agency at all early." But
Yeah.
I mean, they
Is
got
is definitely a case where all inning on late game is really bad. So don't do
honestly, yeah,
either or.
honestly, I also think that like the CLG players are just kind of like
Yeah, I
they're
think
CLG Academy players. They're
I
done. Like
I think they're just clocked out.
they're done. Like Phil is done. I mean, I guess Wind and Deus are kind of like tilted, right? Because
Yeah.
they're imports in Academy, and they're just getting shafted.
Yeah. And
Uh,
like going back to the Galio support. He went fucking inspiration second. That's like really troll because you want the sorcery with the when you use flash you get movement speed.
oh, Nimbus Cloak, right?
Yeah. So you want the fucking Nimbus cloak. But he took inspiration. And
I
I don't know why he did that. That's fucking troll.
I don't know. I feel like the only reason you ever pick Gallia in this comp is kind of like
If you have a
maybe
J4 or something.
yeah, I mean, but also like you could use a Galio like to protect backline if like people engage on backline. You have like the
Mhm.
taunt and the knock up and these kind of things to protect. But honestly, like I think Galio nowadays is less used as protection like he used to be in the past, and he's more used now just like
As a pick team fighter
yeah, he's
sort of
just
thing.
like oh fucking engage. It's like follow up engage on targets that don't have mobility.
Flash. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it happens. A lot of champions nowadays, like I played, don't have mobility, which I think kind of helps with the fact that there's more scaling picks now. Because if you don't have mobility, you don't want to make aggressive plays. So you just want to like sit back and scale and play slow, right?
Mhm.
Because you want to play around your flash timer. And I think in the meta where it's like Zaya, Kaisa, Akali, Irelia. I mean, Aatrox is still kind of in the meta right now. But like Aatrox, like all these champions are really mobile. It's hard to kill them. They're pretty safe. And that's why games like ended up being so fast, right?
Mhm.
It feels like the meta is a lot of things are piling together for me in the meta to make it a really big tank meta. And
Yeah.
I I don't know how you feel, but I kind of welcome it after the past 2 years of 30-minute 25-minute stomps. I don't know. How do you feel about that?
I mean when the next patch hits competitive, which is it gonna be this week or the next week?
10-4 is this week.
Okay. So it people will probably like still like try to pick like Elise and fucking Lee Sin and shit. But I wouldn't be surprised if like people start like picking tanks like hardcore, like fucking Scion, Poppy, like just fucking like try this shit out, just like whatever sort of thing. Cause like Bombi Cinder like just doing damage on like CCs and stuff like that, and the fact that dragon scaling is like pretty like important and people really only fight around those sort of like timers during the objectives, and like only time people really fight earlier is for like Rift Herald. I wouldn't be surprised if like tanks do come back, but I wouldn't mind it because I don't mind playing tanks entirely. So, but
And you've been playing tanks this whole time. You're not bored of playing Leona, Sejuani, Braum, Tom Kench?
I don't care. But if this means that like enchanter supports might come back just to like keep the front line like healthy and stuff like that, I wouldn't mind that either.
Which
Lulu,
do you
Karma.
prefer?
which do I prefer? I mean, obviously, the playmakers. But if it came down to it and I had to play like Lulu, Karma, Janna again and shit, I'd be like, all right, whatever. I guess I'll play these champions. Because like at that point now, I have to like focus more on lane and like just like focus on the lane itself. And roaming is still part of being a support, but it's not gonna be as important as when I'm playing like Leona, Nautilus, stuff like that, where like that's like pretty key.
Yeah, I think I wouldn't mind that kind of meta because I was really getting tired of like just one shot all over the place by a bunch of different champions.
Mm-hmm.
But now I feel like I'm just gonna get one shot by tanks. Like Sejuani's gonna run up on me at level 6, and I'll be like, I guess I'm done.
Yeah.
I mean, as soon as Sejuani comes into meta, you're gonna see Trundle, you're gonna see Zac, you're gonna see Sion, Maokai. Like these kind of champions are gonna make a comeback.
Bro, Maokai Pog.
I mean, Jarvan's gonna still be in the meta because Jarvan's like always in the meta, right? So
he's just a good champion.
He's just like I think he's like average. He does kind of everything pretty average.
Yeah.
I'd actually be surprised if we saw like Lee Sin and Elise this weekend.
I'd
have to think teams.
That would definitely be troll, and then if they lose on those champions, it's definitely gonna be like, all right, guys, don't pick them.
Yeah, you're getting flamed. You're getting flamed if you lock those champions in, because now you can lock in Sejuani and you can deal more damage than fucking Lee Sin. Already you lost that matchup. Now you lose that matchup harder. It's gross. Because she does damage now. It's dumb as shit.
It is what it is. But
yeah.
Is there any other Academy teams you want to touch on?
I think we touched a little bit on IMT kind of falling off recently. They have been having a bit of a rough time. They went 0-2 this week. Granted, it was versus Dig Academy.
Was Dig.
One of them was Dig, but the Cloud9 one is the sad one because they got shit on.
Yeah, I think their draft was definitely part of it, and their play early, especially that bot lane play. I'm gonna keep saying it, but Gate, bro, can't be inting like that.
Can't be inting like that, man. Unfortunate.
Because you have an Ezreal, and like I know you're like trying to poke, but like the moment you walk into the alcove, that's when Diamond knew, like, all right, just fucking kill this guy.
On Tom Kent, you're just like, all right, get him. Get him.
Just fucking kill him because he already landed the tongue lash, and like he's already walking towards the alcove for whatever reason, so just kill him.
Yeah. So, middle of the split, right? What do you think of the teams? Obviously, we know the Academy was going to be good.
Yeah.
Are we surprised that they dropped 2 games?
No, because they're just fucking... they're just trolling some drafts and, like, some plays and whatnot, so it's not, like, that surprising, but, if they wanted, like, the perfect, like, 18-0, they would definitely be, like, stressing out about it and, like, going try hard, but I don't think that's what they want to do, sort of thing, so that's fine, just can't be having games where you lose by backdooring, because that just looks bad.
Yeah. I think if I recall correctly... DeMonte said if they didn't go 18-0, he'd be disappointed. It could have been Acadian or DeMonte that said if they didn't go 18-0, they'd be disappointed. I guess they're disappointed then, right?
I don't remember reading that, but
I forget who it was. I think it was a Travis interview with DeMonte, or it might have been a stage interview. One of the two, I forget. But I mean, I think the big surprise to me is CLG Academy being like dead last.
I mean, I don't think anyone
hard dead last.
Anyone going into this 2020 season for Academy or LCS expected CLG to be this fucking bad.
Yeah, like honestly, I thought FlyQuest Academy would be bad. I didn't think FlyQuest Academy was that good, but they ended up. I mean, they're 4-6. They're 8th.
Yeah, they're still.
But that's still not as bad as CLG. Like they're 1-9, 1-9, 10% win rate. That's what feels bad.
But I think, for the most part, teams are where I kind of expected them to be. I kind of want TSM to be a little higher, just because like they have like a lot of players on there that have been on this roster or like have been in the scene for a while. Like Dokla and like Treats and Spica, but they have like newer players like
I
Evolved.
mean, Lost has been
Yeah, yeah, and also Lost has been there for a while too. So I just don't know what's troubling them that they're like legit in the middle, like fifth, 5-5.
I
Um,
I think it might
but
be the fact that their mid is inexperienced.
that could
Mid
be it.
lane's probably the most important role to play around and to have someone who has experience, which makes it hard for teams like IMT right now. Um, Not IMT. I apologize. I mean, 100 Thieves in the LCS. It's hard for them because Ryoma is not very experienced at this level, and I think
Hmm.
Evolved also is not experienced at this level. Like his laning's been good, and his like matchups versus other mid laners is solid. I think the problem comes in with where to be on the map. He seems lost sometimes. I mean, not with his teammate lost, but he's lost on the map occasionally, not sure where to be. I think that's the big problem. I think with more experience he could do really well, but they're good enough as a team where like they're in the middle. They're
Uh
not
huh.
at like the bottom. They're better. They're doing better than FlyQuest Academy. I mean, we saw Triple at Worlds, and Triple doesn't look like the best mid laner in Academy. So that can tell
Yeah.
you kind of the skill level of like a cat like Oceania, right? If if one of the best, if the second best Osh mid can't contest in Academy, like that makes me feel weird about other Osh players.
Yeah. It's just about building that talent sort of thing when they come here, which is why like most of them start in academy or like lower tier like LCS teams. So
I think Schernfire has looked better on TLA though, surprisingly.
yeah, I think Schernfire is like the exception because like he played like a shit ton of solo queue, and like he's been in the scene for a while. Also, like he has been playing League of Legends competitively for several years now. So like he's not a new player by any means, but he's still trying to like make a name for himself, get himself out there, play on that big stage, sort of thing.
It's weird. He's been playing for like 6 years now,
Yeah,
since he was 15.
I mean, if he didn't have that one incident, think
Yeah,
I think he'd be in a
yikes.
better spot, but I
I mean the
pretty sure he's grown from it.
I think he's grown. Yeah, definitely. I mean TLA looks better now that he's in the roster than they did before.
Hmm.
Obviously, no flame Mike Young, but he wasn't cutting it. It didn't look like he was performing the best on the team. I think with Schönfire, they're looking a little bit better. I mean, Jenkins is still like kind of the black hole of pressure that they have right now.
Hmm.
He just kind of
He just kind
dies a lot.
of. I'm not on Kennen. Oh shit.
I'm not a kid. Oh shit! His GP it almost lost in the game.
Yeah,
Whereas,
and then and then Tactical was like, "Wait, I
and
have
Tacticals,
TP
I'm
this
not losing
game."
this shit. I'm not losing this shit. I did no damage this game. I'm 0-2-0. I fucking ended the game. Like it was
Get
just the
me out.
funniest thing. It's the funniest thing. Jenkins just dies mid lane randomly because they didn't even show it because they were like in the middle of a replay, and then when we came out of the replay, he was just dead, and I was like, "What the fuck just happened? How did he get caught?" And then and then 20 seconds later, fucking Tacticals ended the game top lane. I'm like, "What the fuck just happened?" Or bot lane. I'm like, "What the fuck just happened? How did they were winning? They were starting to come back." I'm like, "Holy fuck!" Odd game. Weird.
Definitely, yep.
Yeah.
It's definitely a weird champ kind of game.
Weird champ kind of game. 100 Thieves Academy I thought would be better, but of course, losing someday, their hard carry
Hmm.
sucks. I mean,
And
Fake God's
they,
not bad, though. Fake
yeah,
God has looked okay.
and they also brought in uh what's his name, Breezy, and
Breezy, I like.
they have
Breezy looks good.
contracts as their jungler, so contracts is still trying to like get back into his like prime, I guess.
Yeah.
So they're probably having like team struggles and things like that, but I think 100 Thieves Academy definitely have like a lot of potential. Not the most potential. I think C9A have the most potential in terms of like a academy roster because C9A is literally just like a bunch of OS players and Inori and Inori, Palafox, and Diamond, right? So
I mean, Palafox has looked like the hard carry of the team, though.
yeah,
To me, I mean, Palafox and Diamond look like the better players on the team. To me, at least. Honori looks stable. Fudge kind of seems weak to me, and King has been, you know,
He's
consistent.
playing AD.
He's playing AD. You know, I feel like a lot of the ADs is just like I'm playing AD. You know, I'm just here for
Yeah.
the ride.
Hmm.
Definitely and Matt have kind of impressed me a bit this last week's performance. They did really well.
Yeah. I think EG Academy now with like a somewhat solid roster. I think they still want like their import mid, whichever one they picked up. I forget his name, but I think they still want him to play. But visa issues are still preventing that. But I think EG are definitely like EGA are they're in the middle right now. But that's just because Sven Skaren and Co entered the first like 2 games or whatever.
This
So
is true. This is true. Without
um,
those two losses, they're 5-3.
yeah, I
So
definitely think EG Academy, despite like more than half of their roster having a starting spot in the LCS previously, I think Five Fire is like he's definitely improving. I will say that because like before he would like make some in plays like randomly, but
yeah,
I think he's
he
getting
was
better.
in. He was at Scouting Grounds, right? Yeah.
I believe so. Yeah.
So he was at Scouting Grounds. And I'm glad to see he got his chance, but only be. I mean, it's sad that it's only because someone can't play.
Hmm.
But I'm visibly seeing improvement over the last few weeks, like you said. He looks a lot better than before. I think
Hmm.
it's important for NA talent to get like a shot
Hmm.
because if you never play, if you never get to the next step, how are you ever gonna keep going, right?
Yeah.
It's pretty hard to do so. I think only very few players like take the leap from solo queue straight to LCS like Johnson, right? I mean, back in the day, it happened pretty often, but
Yeah. Nowadays,
now
teams are much
it's
more
like one
considerate
player a
in terms of
year.
scouting. Yeah, because
Yeah,
I mean, Johnson was on TSMA and he was like playing some of the
but he
games
played
there.
4 games.
Yeah,
He
yeah,
only
yeah.
played 4 games.
So he wasn't like entirely part of the roster, but they were like trying him out and stuff like that. But the EG game versus TSMA was definitely an interesting one because TSM like banned out Lost and then he like resorted to Sivir. And I think the problem with the Sivir pick was definitely Victor MF just like outranging Sivir the later the game went.
I mean, the thing is, Sivir yeah, it's basically that she's basically only like a 400 CS win condition, but even then, when she can't get in range to do damage, she's just useless, right?
Hmm.
I mean, the thing is, Lost has played a lot of Aphelios. He got that
Yeah.
champion like all the fucking time. People just gave it to him, and he was just like doing really well on it. Even if they lost some games, he individually was playing very well on Aphelios.
Yeah.
I mean, not hard. He's playing Aphelios,
Hmm.
so that can happen. Um,
And TSM actually only lost this game because of a really bad like Baron play. Like,
Again, inexperience, I think. I mean, Doka is supposed to be kind of like their, veteran player,
yeah, I
but
think
Doka never had
Dokla
a great career in LCS, right?
he had
He
an
made
alright career. Yeah.
he made playoffs once. I think that's about it.
I think
And the rest of the time, seventh,
when it
eighth.
comes to like veterans like talking, I think Dokla and Treats are probably like the most like talkative ones, and there's probably like miscommunication as to like how things are supposed to be done, or like they're just like making like these troll plays or whatever.
How long has Treats played for?
Treats has been in like the EU scene for a while, I believe. Then he got his shot on TSM Academy when TSM had like that, like their own like little like scouting grounds thing. The year 2 years ago or something like that. And then he got his chance on TSM Academy last year, and then he got offers, and then he decided to stay on TSM Academy, I believe. So
You know what? I bet one of those offers was fucking Golden Guardians.
could have been,
No doubt. I
but
feel like
the way that video played out, it looks like they wanted Keith the whole time.
I don't know, man. It's like I was thinking about it recently, right? And it was just like it seems kind of scummy now that I'm thinking about it. It's like, all right, man, if you want to play in LCS, you have to fucking roll swap to support, or else you're another year in academy, 4th year in a row. That seemed. It didn't seem to me like he really wanted to from the video, right? but he
Mm-hmm.
did it because he wants to play in LCS. I don't know. That's looking more on it. It seems it seems more and more weird to me. Even if he has been playing better, it's not like he wanted to do that, right? It didn't seem like he wanted to do that. Is what I should say.
Mm-hmm. I agree. But
I think I think
there's
that's
that.
yeah. The last thing I just wanted to say about 100 Thieves Academy before we got sidetracked is that I, they're they're rookies. I'd say rookies, but they're the talent that hasn't played in LCS. So Ligo and Fake God they played, but very little, right? I
Mm-hmm.
mean, Fake God played the season out, but he wasn't like supposed to, kind of.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Fake God and Soligo look like the best parts of the team, and Breezy has very much surprised me, showing he's really good.
Yeah, I
Uh,
think if he's given like the right matchup and the right champions, like I think he could perform really well. It's that one of the games he had to play Braum into fucking Yumi, which is in as like in as
yeah,
fuck.
yeah,
So
that's awful, dude. I feel bad. I feel bad. I
mhm.
think he looks really good on like playmaking.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I mean, I feel like a lot of supports that come from solo queue look really good on playmaking champions. And
Mhm.
then when they're kind of like supposed to be put on these like sit back, you have to play macro, you have to play safe. These kind of picks, it's harder, right? Because in solo queue, that's not what you do. There's a
Yeah.
disconnect between support in solo queue and support in professional play. Same thing with jungle, right?
Mhm. Kind of just have to relearn the game when you switch over.
Yeah. Closing out on academy, teams hopefully I don't know. I feel like CLG Academy, they're not going to be able to do anything. They're kind of just clocked out, right? They're done.
I mean, when you're 1-9 in the first 10 games, yeah, you're kind of just done. It's really hard.
I don't expect them to do better.
It's really hard for them to like do anything outside of whether they are. If they're not gonna make playoffs like at all. Like it is
Yeah,
just
there's no
super duper
chance.
hard.
I think CLG, our CLG, I mean, I say R, but LCS CLG doesn't look like they're going to make it either. It'd be like fucking insane if they did.
hmm
Um, yeah, that's unfortunate. TLA, I think,
Uh,
can improve. Hopefully, they can make playoffs. I think the only team they can really knock out. I mean, it's Immortals Academy and EG Academy that look the worst. Immortals Academy because they looked really bad this past week. And EG Academy, I feel like they don't have the 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 ability to keep it up.
hmm
TLA and TSMA are really gunning for those spots.
Yeah.
So those are the two teams I'm looking out for to maybe splash in and shake it up a little bit in the standings. A
hmm
lot of three teams are tied at 5-5, and three teams are tied at 6-4. So it's iffy, right? It's a weird dynamic going on. We'll
hmm
see who like makes it out, right?
Yeah. I definitely think that TLA, like if they were to make playoffs, like that would like that's their goal right now is to like try to make playoffs, like try to at least make an attempt to get in there. Because when they started out, like they were obviously like really really bad, but I guess not as bad as CLGA. Because I'm assuming there's internal issues there. Because the players on CLGA aren't as bad compared to TLA, in my opinion. But it looks like TLA are like either like
That's
sneaking
spicy, dude.
either TLA are like sneaking these wins in or like they actually have like good games here and there, but I definitely think IMTA might fall down like a place or two. They did have a bad week, but like if they just like clean it up, they don't like make these dumb plays or like do these weird drafts or whatever, like just like play standard. I think that they could probably still contend for like top 3, top 4 sort of thing. I'm
I can
expecting
see it.
EGA to like either be in playoffs or not in playoffs, depending on how a TLA do. But I think the rest of the standings sort of like hold true as to where they are right now. I would also expect C9A to like go up a place or two, like probably be second by the end of the split, if
I
not
mean, they're tied
third.
for second now.
Yeah, but like hold like sole possession sort of
Oh,
thing.
so okay. I mean, I see it. I think C9A. Maybe I think maybe I don't know. I think it kind of depends on Palafox.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you know what? I think it depends more on Fudge, because if Fudge can pick up the gameplay a little bit, play a little bit better on some of the picks he's getting, maybe I think they could win.
Just give him Ornn XD.
No, because he was running it on Ornn. That's. I feel like that's bad. I feel like it's hard to run it on Ornn, but he was managing it.
Just give him his
No flame,
comfort.
no flame, no flame, no flame. I think that we'll wrap it up for Academy. Let's move on to LCS. Holy shit! Big news that happened this week. Fucking Pobelter, let's go. NA talent.
Yeah, so Pobelter's backing on CLG. They benched Crown, which was not surprising. He's been running it down since he started this season, so
He was cashing the paycheck, bro. Told you.
yeah.
I mean, I was high on Crown at the beginning of the split, but he was definitely cashing the paycheck.
Uh-huh. There's definitely some inting going on, but now they have Pobelter, who, in his first 2 games, he's trying his best out here. I'm not gonna flame him because it's only his first 2 games, but they still went 0-2, unfortunately. But
yeah,
I think if the other players on CLG also step it up, I think they could do really well. But then again, they were against C9 and what was the other team? Goddamn FlyQuest. So those are definitely tough opponents. That's literally top 2 on the standings. So
yeah, that's pretty rough, honestly. Don't think they could have done much there. Pobelter's like, yo, anime moment. Let me come in and win versus the 2 top teams in the league, and it's like, nah, dude, we're not in an anime. Get fucked. Pobelter played okay. I honestly think he played pretty okay.
mm-hmm. I definitely think that if the rest of the CLG map could play better, then they'll.
I mean, it's their first week though. So.
Yeah. First week of the second half, sort of thing.
Yeah, rough for Pobelter to come in this week, but I think they're gonna look a little bit better. There's not gonna be much communicate. I think Pobelter is a strong veteran voice that can maybe help out Wiggly a bit. He was with PoE before, and obviously PoE and Pobelter, in spring were very comparable. Not so much in summer, because I don't know what happened to FlyQuest in summer, but they played really bad as a whole team.
Mm-hmm.
So it kind of sucks. CLG, I hope they can pull it back, but their goal is basically to not be 10th.
Yeah,
I think they're too far down to make playoffs.
They're competing at the bottom. They're trying to outrun 100 Thieves, Golden Guardians, Team Liquid, or EG at this point.
I feel like Team Liquid's gonna be sprinting, bro. They're gone, man.
Yeah. I mean, when it comes to this week of play, right? TL, they had the game against EG, which was very interesting because Doublelift had a glitch where he just kept popping in and out. And then all at the same time, EG's just destroying them, I guess. I don't know what's going on. But,
draft diff, bro.
Yeah.
It's just a draft diff game.
It was definitely draft diff because don't know why they drafted Elise. It seemed to really troll when they already picked Sejuani, Ezreal, Braum. I don't know
I
what.
don't think Elise does shit.
Yeah,
ever.
You actually can't really do much outside of 10 to 15 minutes because after
especially
that,
4th pick.
Mm-hmm.
What is his drafting? You see it. There's no reason to pick it.
I guess Coach Kane is just
Coach Kane
trolling.
Trolling.
Trolling. He's like, Elise is good. I played my solo queue games,
No, dude, I'm telling you, that's like a player call. It's like, yo, let me get the Elise.
Could have been. But yeah, it was literally just EG as tank snowballs, just running it down against TL, and TL can't do much. So
yeah, rough game for TL there. I mean, their next game was better, at least. Early game was still kind of slow to me, right? But then they really started picking it up after 8 minutes.
But also, Dig were kind of running it. I have no idea what the fuck Dig were doing. They were running it in draft, and also when they tried to dive impact on set, I was like, what are you guys fucking doing?
Yeah. I don't know, man.
like I'm not gonna
That
take
was
it away
troll
from
as fuck.
TL like entirely, but it was also the fact that Dig were just they just had a shit draft and then shit play. Like I don't know what was going on there. Like they were just overthinking it or something. But yeah.
I think the super egregious thing about this draft is just the Pantheon pick to me. I feel
Yeah.
like if you lock in, I
You
feel
like
like
it
if you
any
lock
other
in,
top laner.
yeah, if you lock in any other top laner, I feel like you're gonna be fine. Like even if it's Aatrox, like I feel like that's fine. They just really fucking ran it down with the fucking Pantheon. It's like basically you're saying like, all right, we gotta win fucking top lane, but you're into set. Holy fuck, did Huni fall behind? He was down like 30 CS.
Yeah,
He was,
30 CS at like 10 minutes.
yeah, it was bad. Like, and then you're playing Pantheon. You're trying to fucking win. That's why Pantheon gets played mid lane because like, there's less bad matchups. Because in top lane you could just get fucked by whatever bruiser feels like.
And also, if you get ganked once, it's kind of over tough.
Yeah, I mean, it happens. Like, it
Yeah.
happens. That's just top lane. Honestly, it sucks. Where are you on TL? Like,
You want
I
my
know you're
opinion?
usually low on. You're usually low on TL. Do you think they make playoffs?
So like my like updated sort of power rankings has them slotted in right at 6.
You okay? Are we talking? End of, before we continue, we should clarify. Are we talking?
I'm talking about at the end of the split, right before playoffs.
Regular season, right before
Yes.
playoffs.
Yes,
Where
right
do you
before
think they'll be?
playoffs. That's where I think they'll be.
Okay. All right.
I'm
see
not
where
talking about like once we get into playoffs sort of thing. I'm talking about
Nah,
once
you're right,
all
you're
of once all of the regular season games are over. This is realistically what TL can get, 6th place, and get
This is
right
true.
into
They
playoffs.
are 4 and 6,
Get right into
but
playoffs.
they are tied with 3 people at 4 and 6.
They are, but you know it's kind of hard. Or like C9 would have to end like super hard. Like TSM would also have to end super hard along with FlyQuest. So then there's only like 3 realistic spots left, and like IMT Dig are definitely like gonna go down a little bit in my opinion.
Dig was just, they just lost their second game to. I mean, they just beat Dig in the second game, so they're not playing Dig anymore.
Yeah.
So versus the rest of the competition, IMT 100 Thieves, EG Golden Guardian, CLG. Let's say they take. Let's say they go 6 and 3 in the second half. They went 3 and 6 in the first half. That's 9 and 9, right? But when you have Cloud9, who could potentially go 18 and 0, that's 2 losses to everybody. The last time a team went 18 and 0 or like 17 and 1, people were making playoffs at 8 and 10.
Yeah. And I think for NA, I think it was like the TSM roster where like they had Biofrost and like it was best of 3 also.
Yeah.
So, you know, it was slightly easier to go 18 and 0 or like maybe harder because there were more games to play out. But
I mean, there was the best of 1 split in 2017
with IMT, right?
Yeah, IMT, where they were best of 1s at the time. 2016 was best of 3s. Yes.
I can't remember
2016 summer.
exactly. It was definitely a long time ago, but
Yeah, it was a while. Fuck, I can't even remember. I didn't watch a lot back then because the games it was a boring meta, at the time. But yeah, like what if Cloud9 goes 18 and 0, teams are like the bottom of the standings are gonna be really low because they'll have like 2 losses. Like most teams are just gonna have 2 losses, right? Because before we've seen like 2 teams go like 17-1, 16-2. Like, you know,
I think the
like
TSM rematch with C9 is definitely going to be the big one.
Yeah,
But we're
that's
just going to have to wait
this
and
week.
see until... Oh, really? That's interesting.
I think that's this week, actually. Hold on.
Let me
No,
double check
I'm
for
sorry.
you.
That's not. That's next
Okay.
week. That's next week.
Now you're trolling.
Week 7.
It's
It's TL TSM this week. That's what I was thinking of.
okay. But yeah, I just think by the end of the like regular season, realistically, TL could only end 6. Because like some of their drafts are kind of iffy, and like their play with Broxa isn't as different as it was with Shern, in my opinion. But you know, we've only had such a small sample pool with Broxa so far, so but I think they will turn it up and they will end 6, but they're not gonna get anything higher than that unless the teams at the top start trolling.
Yeah, I mean, The thing is where we think TL's level is with more practice. And the big thing is the fact that they play um, TSM this week coming up. It's
Mm-hmm.
like, did you improve? And this is like the kind of sad thing, right? Is like, did you improve faster than TSM in 2 weeks than TSM has had the whole split?
Yeah, because TL definitely beat TSM the first time around, which was kind of
Exactly.
like disheartening. I think it was mainly because like TSM were overthinking the match, probably like just putting too much pressure on themselves. Where it's like, oh shit, guys, it's fucking TL, but like they didn't realize that like TL were trash and they were just
I mean, their
playing
mid
bad.
game was still bad then, like really
Yeah.
bad.
Like
Like
TSM definitely were also not playing well at all.
yeah.
But yeah, when it comes to like the other teams, we should probably talk about them as well.
Cloud9 and FlyQuest.
So C9's obviously still smurfing. Like, there's no doubt about it. I say it every fucking week, but they are actually just like legit smurfing. Like, most of their games are like decided within the first 20 minutes, like 100%. Like, they don't,
First 15.
yeah, even sooner. But like, they don't dick around and like just sit around and do nothing. Like, they actually like are super proactive early. They're like, their drafts aren't like that bad either. Like, they actually have like a brain and like draft accordingly, sort of thing. Um, but yeah, it just seems like C9 are on another level compared to the other teams in NA. But I think by the end of like playoffs entirely, I think teams will be closer to Cloud9's level, depending on how teams obviously improve.
Yeah. It's tough for me to. And the tough thing for me is that I put Cloud9 at sixth at the start of the split. I thought they would end up sixth, right?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't account for the fact that TL wasn't gonna have Broxa, or TSM, or 100 Thieves is gonna look as bad as they do, uh, and CLG literally being dumpster fire. Like
Mm-hmm.
those things did not cross my mind when I decided on my power rankings. So Cloud9 being at the top is not surprising now that I've seen them play. But before the split started, it looked kind of bad. Like I knew Vulcan was gonna be an upgrade. I thought Sven wouldn't be an upgrade, and I thought Blabber would be a downgrade, right?
Yeah.
And it's like they're all just upgrades. It's all upgrades. Yay! So instead of
Mm-hmm.
being second place or first place, woo! I'm like, this is weird.
I watched the Q episode with Licorice, like you told me,
Yeah.
and what's it called? The way like he talked about Reaper, he was like, yeah, Reaper doesn't like he plays to the player's strength and not like what's good in the game. So like when Licorice first started out, he was like, all right, you're not playing tanks. He was like, okay, that's fine by
Suck at
Licorice
tanks.
because yeah, he's like, you suck at tanks right now, so we're just gonna play carries top and it, like C9 obviously like suffered from it, but like at least they were playing towards, stuff that they were good at and not just like forcing Licorice on like tanks that he probably would have vented on or whatever.
I think it was a good thing it wasn't a tank meta towards the second half of the split.
Mm-hmm.
I think that was really good because I imagine rookies having to come in, and I think tanks are difficult. They're not mechanically difficult, but I feel like they're harder to play because you have to have a lot more teamwork, right? And that's not generally something rookies have in abundance.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like if certain players had come in during different metas, we'd talk about them really differently. So if like Licorice had come in like during a tank meta, we'd be like, "Yo, this guy sucks at tanks. He's bad." Like, blah blah blah, all this kind of stuff. Kind of like the same thing with Dokla, where people were like, "He sucks on tanks," and when they saw him on carries, they're like, "Oh, look, he looks not bad." It's that kind of thing.
Yeah,
Um,
I think coaches need to like take that sort of like mentality that Reaper has. Is like, I play towards your players and not play towards the game. You know?
it works.
Yeah.
I think it works. I think it's the whole whatever it is global meta thinking is that you should draft what is the best globally instead of what is the best for you.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I think that's something that a lot of people find difficulty with, working around the strengths. I mean, it's the same thing. It's how FBX won Worlds, right? It's like Doinby's not a superstar mid laner. He's really good at teamwork and he's really good at roaming. So just fucking slap that motherfucker on Nautilus and there you go, right? like, like that's. I think that's the whole thing that people are starting to realize. Is like play your style, but play it fucking well.
Yeah.
I mean, if your style sucks, then make it work, right? So,
Mm-hmm.
Cloud9, honestly, probably gonna stay at the top. I feel their only games they should really watch out for are TSM in week 7 and TL in week 9. Those are the two big potential upsets to me. I feel like no other team is even close enough. I know they play FlyQuest this week for the first game.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't think there's enough time for FlyQuest to have improved to the level, right? Because it's just so dominant from Cloud9. Like it's not even close, like at all.
Yeah.
And the last time they played was week 3.
Mm-hmm. And that game was not pretty to watch
No,
at all.
it wasn't. That was
I mean,
they got demolished.
They did draft Sen over Khan for their bot lane, so that was
This is
definitely a
true.
fucking int. So,
But they did get demolished. Like they got
Mhm.
shit on so fast. That was one of the
So-
fastest games of the split.
but what do you think about IMT going 0-2 this week? One of them was C9, but the other game was against Dig, and Dig kind of just like ran him over with the.
Nah, I'm glad. I'm glad.
Hootie
I'm glad
Mordekaiser.
IMT's getting exposed. Honestly, like I put IMT at 4th this split. In my power rankings. Again, some teams look a lot worse than they did before. For me, IMT will probably end around, like maybe one place lower. They'll probably end around 5th. And I think that's only because it's hard for a lot of teams to pass them.
Mhm.
But I think the more games we see of them, the more you think, like, how did they win so many games already?
Yeah.
Because in their losses, they look really bad.
Yeah.
And their
so,
wins don't look impressive.
True. The thing with IMT, so I also have them like updated in like my power rankings at 5th. So when it comes to these two IMT games for this week, it just feels like so for the Dig game, like Dig were just playing their game. Like they didn't care what the hell IMT were doing. Like Dig were just like, all right, we're just gonna play Aphelios Thresh and have J4, and we're just going to run it into your jungle. So like they
classic.
just did not care, and like obviously they did not respect it fully, and some early plays happened where Xmithy just fell really far behind, and there were a couple of jungle fights that were definitely pretty interesting, like when they fought at the Raptor camp at Diggs Raptor camp, and like TPs were coming in, and all of these other things happening. I was like, that was definitely a very interesting play. But when it came to like the mid game team fights, like when Huni was in there and he just like Mordekaiser ulted, like he was just like really really strong with like his items. So, but yeah, I just think that IMT just like did not play well this week at all. Like as a team, and like some like individual mistakes obviously as well.
I mean, yeah. I mean, we saw Ico play Corki in that game, and kind of showed why you don't draft Corki. Like, he granted, Power Evil smurfed on it, right? But again, the matchup was good. Like, it's Corki Azir, right? Corki will win. But the Frogget, like the Orianna, it's like you're not gonna get pressure on Orianna. She wave clears faster than Azir, and his play was pretty bad because he got caught by Huni's like Mordekaiser pull. What's that? His E, I think. He got hit by the E, pulled in. He Valkyrie's out with the package, so you're not using the package offensively. And then he walks back in just to get Thresh Hook and then die. So
yeah, that mid game team fight near the dragon, or the river, I should say, like that was just like solidifying the game. Like as long as Dig don't throw super hard, like Dig's gonna win the game. And that pretty much just like showed like where their issues sort of lie, is that like I guess like they just make like a couple of mistakes and then it's like kind of over, and they don't really know how to like get back into it. So I'm thinking like that's just how their champions worked for this game in particular. Like when Nautilus is behind, like it's not fun.
No, it's not.
It's
And
not fun playing Nautilus.
especially with MF too. If MF's behind, you're just like, fuck, what do I do?
Hmm.
Right? It's not like you scale like other ADs. Your two
Yeah.
item spike is like your 2 and 3 item spike is when you want to win the game.
Hmm.
But the big problem to me is that IMT seems like they only have one real carry threat with the meta shifting to tanks, and it's all tech. So, and Xmithy's like their early game, right? Like he basically, if he has a really good early game, you can kind of shift it into a win like he's done before, where
Hmm.
like he'll smurf on the early game and you win. But when Smithy doesn't get a big lead in the early game, and then Ike has not been performing to the level that I assume they wanted him to perform at, it makes it really rough for a team that like realistically only has one really really solid carry to win a game, right? Because
Hmm.
especially with tank meta coming, it's not like Soa is going to be out here on carrying on shit, right? And it's not like Smithy either. They're on tanks basically
Yeah.
with the way the meta's going. So I think it's tough for IMT moving
And it's
forward.
also just like how both of those players play. Like
Yeah,
I'm not saying that like both of these players can't play like carry oriented champions, but they're just known for like being like the more like supportive utility sort of players.
yeah. And you're only really supporting all
All
tech.
tech.
Yeah. So it sucks. It almost seems to me that IMT could maybe fall out of playoffs.
Yeah, they could maybe if like EG somehow pick it up, but
Yeah, I mean the
EG's kind of a
games.
coin flip.
Yeah, they're just so coin flip. I mean the thing is that there's so many bad teams to me. Like there's 4 teams tied in 4 and 6, right? So 3 of those teams are not going to make the playoffs. So 100 Thieves, EG, Golden Gardens, or Team Liquid. Counter Logic Gaming we know isn't make the playoffs, right? It's impossible,
Hmm.
almost. If they lose another game, I think it's actually impossible for them to make playoffs. Because Cloud9 will go like 11 wins, and then there's no way to catch up, right?
Hmm.
Um, but to me, it seems that if Team Liquid, if Team Liquid picks it up like we expect them to, if Golden Guardians keeps improving the way they have been, I think disregarding the Golden Guardians game that they had versus 100 Thieves, that was egregious. That was so bad, dude. Just watching them in all over the map, it was like they must have fucking trolled, right? Like they must have got tilted in game because you start dying solo like 1 or 2 times, right? And then you're like, all right, guys, we gotta stop dying solo. And then they just kept dying, and I'm just like, holy shit, they're tilting and they're gonna lose because they definitely fucking tilted off the face of the planet. You saw Haunter just sitting at bot lane and him watching fucking Sunday just take it like, yep, I can't do anything. We lost. Right? He's done. He's done. He's like, I don't want to play this shit anymore. I got counterpicked, solo killed twice. He got greedy and didn't go for fucking tab eyes. He went for Sheen instead, and he gets solo killed. What do you expect, man? You got greedy. You didn't go for tab eyes. Fuck. Like, I don't know. I want to be high on Golden Guardians. I want to like them. I want them to do well. But sometimes their play is just baffling to me.
Yeah,
And
I
Golden
think.
Glue has still been solid.
Mhm.
That's the only thing I really like. Closer and Golden Glue have been solid.
Yeah, I think their inconsistent side lanes is like their big issue right now. Like, I'm not saying that like Hansu's a bad player or anything, but he got counterpicked and obviously he got shit on. And then when
I
it
mean,
came to the all right,
he,
actually, say what you want to say.
he's just I don't know what happened because he used to be a rock and now he's like not anymore. He To me it just seems so weird that he used to be like a solid player and it's kind of like he's crumbling. Feels weird.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then like FBI Keith, like I think at a certain level of like bot lane play, you kind of like you can't play Ezreal Yumi if you're like not like super duper good, which like kind of showed like in the early stages of the game where like
Mm-hmm.
like Keith's just running around as Yumi. Oh shit, I got caught. It's like, yeah, you're fucking Yumi, and how are you not attached to somebody right now?
I mean,
Like,
let's be honest. They were both getting caught. Like FBI was getting hit
yeah.
by Nautilus hooks left and right. Like
Hmm.
rough. He's playing Ezreal too, and he's still getting hit.
Yeah, he's just like not reacting properly, which like sucks. I guess the Golden Guardians.
I mean, that's
the Golden Guardians this game are just not in shape.
Yeah,
compared to 100 Thieves.
I still have hope. I feel like this is like that one super int game because they had it in the bag. They had the early lead. The Gangplank went even versus Lucian early game, but then Haunter gets greedy, goes for a greedy build, then he gets solo killed. And then bot lane's just dying over and over again. Keith is getting caught out. Close is running it down like, yo, I've got Yuumi on me, guys. Let's go. And then he just dies because it's not like it's not like Yuumi makes him invulnerable. He'll still die. I don't know. That game seems so bad to me. And then you just see Golden Glue like, guys, what are we doing, man? Like, I'm 4-1, guys. What's going on? Like, I just felt so sad for him in that moment. Like, god damn, his team's really running it. It sucks. I have hope that Golden Guardians can maybe pull it together. Like, they only need like 4 wins.
So where do you have them at in your updated power rankings?
Oh my god, I have them at 6th.
Oh, okay.
I have them at 6th. I think they'll lock in the playoff spot.
I got them at 9th. I have INT
at 5th. Bro. Huh?
Sorry, bro. I got them at 9th.
Oh my god, you're gross. I hate you. So
look, bro, I don't see how FBI and Keith could like pull it together.
No, don't give me that. Don't give me that bullshit, Travis.
Said don't give me that.
Honestly, it's actually really hard for them to end 6th because they've already lost 2 games to 100 Thieves.
I mean, all I'm saying is that FlyQuest game, Keith looked like week 1 Keith. That's all I'm saying.
Oh my god. I don't know. It's tough, actually.
That Flash Play Exhaust Under Tower was definitely an in. I was like, what the fuck are you guys doing here?
Oh my god, I remember that now. Holy
fucking
shit.
Flash Play
so
Exhaust onto Turtle, and then Turtle already had feathers down, so then he just pulled them back, and then Ignar just standing there like, okay, I guess I'll just pick these kills up. But,
yeah, that was so sad, actually. Now I'm thinking back on that. Fuck, dude. I mean, honestly, I think I actually have to, like, reconsider my rankings now because I'm like thinking
bro, you just made them.
I just made them, right? I just made them and I'm already reconsidering them because I forgot to realize that 100 Thieves got the 2nd win over Golden Guardians.
Yeah, so like Golden Guardians
that's like,
are now
holy
even...
fuck, they have to pass 100 Thieves. Like, look, honestly, the teams that are making playoffs to me. All right, now that I'm really thinking about it, super try hard thinking about it. COG aren't making playoffs. EG aren't making playoffs. Golden Guardians aren't making playoffs. And
we're just doing our power.
And 100 Thieves isn't making playoffs.
Okay.
It's hard for me to say 100 Thieves isn't making playoffs.
So then the rest of your 1 through 6 is C9, TSM, FlyQuest, Dig, IMT, TL.
I actually think it'll be C9, TSM, C9, TSM, Liquid, FlyQuest, Dig, Immortals.
Holy shit, bro. This guy really said Liquid 3rd.
I honestly think, here's the thing.
Bro, you're trolling.
No, I'm not trolling. Think about it. I think trolling. I feel like the only game Liquid should lose, and I'm saying should because they're
probably going to lose some other games.
Very high on the players, but the only game they should lose is to fucking Cloud9. My brain tells me like Team Liquid's about to go 8-0 in the second half. That's what. No, you know what? My heart is telling me Team Liquid's gonna go 8-0. All right. My heart tells me Team Liquid's gonna go 8-0. My brain tells me 6-2. My brain's telling me 10-8, 5th place. Like, but I'm trusting my heart, just like you trust your 100 Thieves heart. Okay,
bro. 100 Thieves aren't making playoffs. They're definitely 8th on my power rankings.
Oh my god, that's a surprise. Actually,
just because they're actually like not like they aren't a team. Like they're just like playing the game and like they're still working on things. Like if you watch the heist, like Cody-san and Stunt, despite them being really good friends, like they're still figuring things out when it comes to like laning and stuff. Like they have like things that they disagree on and like things like that, which like makes it super relatable to me when like I was playing in amateur for a bit and like I was having problems with my AD and I was like, okay, is this like common? But it looks like it is, you know, like people just like look at the game differently, and it's super important that when you play bottom lane, you play with someone that has an understanding as to where you're coming from, and you guys can meet somewhere in the middle. So like the teams you described not making playoffs are the same teams I have not making playoffs.
Really? Are we actually the same?
I mean, in the order, it's definitely different. But yeah, I mean, my power rankings are C9, TSM, FlyQuest, Dig, IMT, TL. That's the playoffs cut, and then it's EG, 100 Thieves, Golden Guardian, CLG.
See, what confuses me about your power rankings is that you don't think TL is better than Immortals.
It's not
Right.
that. Is that I'm not sure if like TL can like pick up enough wins.
They're only one game back.
One game back.
Their Immortals is 5-5. Team Liquid's 4-6. As soon as TL beat IMT, they're ahead of them.
Hey, bro, but TL started like their week 1 like last week, so I don't know.
like that's the thing is that they're still so close in the standings because Cloud9's literally beating everybody.
Yeah.
Right.
But
so I mean,
you never know.
Yeah, you never know. You never know.
fucking know.
TL looks like they got a they have a.
Bro, I didn't put them at third like you,
game.
so at least.
Hey man, yo, honestly, they already beat Dig once, right? 1-1, and they're gonna 2-0 every team. They're gonna beat IMT. They're gonna beat TSM. I think that's where we really disagree. I actually think they'll beat TSM. And I think they'll beat FlyQuest. Like, they shit on FlyQuest the first time. They shit on FlyQuest.
Could also have just been FlyQuest doing the same thing TSM did, where they like overthought the matchup and shit.
They beat both of them in the first half when they had Schernfire and they were playing like dog shit.
Look, we'll see this week, okay?
Oh my god.
Do you want to talk about other teams, or do you want to talk about predictions now? Because you seem to be getting a little heated about what's going on.
I'm heated, bro, because you're trolling me. You're trolling me.
So what do you want to do? What do you want to do?
All right, let's go into the predictions for this next. This is a spicy week, bro. Spicy week. Okay. Honestly, I think it's mad spicy because we get some rematches that I want to fucking see, right? So, so we're gonna see.
You go. Yeah, no.
Oh, okay. We're gonna see Fly, C9, and TL TSM the first 2 games.
Okay.
Hyphy. What are you? I think I already know. You think Cloud9's gonna win, right?
Of course. What the fuck?
Yeah.
But do you think Fly's gonna win?
No, I don't. I don't think so.
Okay.
No. I think the gap. The problem is the gap between Licorice and Viper. And Licorice did have a bad week, right? We can admit that. But the gap between the bot lane and the top lane, so the two sides, is too large in favor of C9. Licorice is just plain old better than Viper. I think it's really hard to argue in any sense that Viper's better. Or like in any real category, aside from like, oh, he can play Riven better, right? Like that's the thing.
Yeah.
But when you take into account bot lane, Sven and Vulcan look just fucking like the best bot lane in the league. They never have lane they never don't have lane prowl. They always have lane prowl. Is what I'm trying to say. Always have lane prowl. They always roam first. They're always winning bot. They're just basically always winning bot lane, putting down pressure, calling their jungler when they need it. They're working really well with Blabber. Vulcan's smurfing. Sven is smurfing. And Wild Turtle is just AD, right? He's just doing his job. He's playing his role. Power Reaver looks like the main carry, but he has to go against Niski and Blabber. That's rough. That's a rough mid duo to go against, right? So, while I think the side lane difference is too much, I think Santorin and PoE, you can argue, is like the second best mid jungle duo in the league. But I feel like they're not, PoE and Santorin aren't super good at winning the early 2v2. They're much better at winning, team like skirmishes with 3 people with Ignar. That's their big thing. But I think the early game for Cloud9 is going to come in too fast and like what happened in the last matchup, right? They got really hard beat in their early game and then they just lost the game. I'm curious to see if they can like hold up. What my hope is that they kind of like keep it even and then just, like lose in team fights or something like this, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um,
But yeah,
I,
C9 just smurfing. That's all I have to
yeah,
say.
I don't think you can. I think what you should take away from this is C9 is smurfing. It's really hard for them to lose. I think you say that about a lot of teams that are undefeated, though, right? You're like, how can this team lose? And then you see them lose, like, oh, that's how, right?
Yeah, I think I mean, like the way C9 plays is like they're like really high tempo. They're really like early game like focused. Like
Tempo.
once they get a lead early, it's kind of hard for like the other team to like pull back because we haven't seen a team do that yet, you know. So I think when that does happen, whether they lose early or a team pulls back in the mid game or whatever, that's when we'll see like, oh, okay, so this game like this and this happened. That's how they lost. But I think against FlyQuest, it's probably not gonna happen as long as they play right, sort of thing.
I mean, I think this new meta might hurt Blabber a little bit, though. Because
Probably.
he's not going to be able to pick Lee Sin Elise, which is his two most played this split.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be more Sejuani Trundle.
Sejuani duty, bro. Let's get it. Let's get it. Zach duty. Let's get it.
It's fucking Jankos over. I'm not comparing Blabber to Jankos, actually. It's kind of troll.
All right,
Actually,
next match.
Yeah, no, I'll talk about it another time. TL versus TSM. Dude, TL's gonna win, man. I don't know.
We didn't talk about TSM, but look, TSM, they trolled a little bit during the 100 Thieves game. Not gonna lie, it was in 100 Thieves' hands to win, and then 100 Thieves killed themselves. But during the EG game, where EG out late game TSM or TL, my bad, they out late game TL, right? TSM was just like, all right, we'll just pick the better late game. They went Triss Tarek. Let's get it, boys. Monday Night League. Fucking scaled up.
EG.
Fucking just killed towers with Triss. GG.
No, that was versus EG. You're right.
What do you mean?
You said it was TSM versus TL for Monday Night League.
Oh, no. I mean, like, the past Monday Night League match. The one that just happened.
TSM versus EG.
No. Okay. You're getting my words mixed up. And you're getting me confused.
No.
No. So when I was talking about EG out late gaming TSM, I meant instead of TSM TL. Because EG out late game TL, and then TL lost. So, and then TSM was just like, all right, we'll out late game you. So we'll just pick Triss Tarek into Ezreal Braum. And like the Ezreal Braum lane, like, bang into it. Because like he fucking had a flash level 2. Is like, oh shit, wait, Triss W and Tarek. Oh my god. It's like, wait. Wait, bro.
One thing I want to talk about is I'm glad that TSM like counterpicked fucking Braum. Like, thank God, bro. Just fucking lock that juicy Tarek in. It's like, yo, you know what Braum's gonna do to Tarek? Nothing. So I'm glad they did that shit. Bjergsen got the counterpick, obviously. Dardak out here on Lee Sin. Broken Blade on tank duty. You know, that's good. But all right, while I'm singing the praises of TSM versus their EG game, TL is not EG. I know EG beat TL, but TL is not EG. Okay.
Okay.
TL is better.
The rock paper scissors matchup won't apply here.
The rock paper scissors does not apply here. Okay. That doesn't work.
All right. Okay. But I'm definitely saying TSM.
Okay. My thing is that TL individually, so Core JJ is better than Biofrost. We know bot lane is support difference, bro. I'm telling you. Core JJ is better than Bio.
Yeah, but in competitive, it's such a small margin.
The TSM bot lane has lost lanes before.
Mm-hmm.
To worse opponents. So versus, theoretically, the second best bot lane in NA. They should lose on bot side. And they should be able to carry that forward and win. And Impact needs to pick it up though. Like low key. Impact. I know I'm predicting TL. I think TL is improving, and they're like, all right, guys, we actually got to get these wins to make playoffs, right? That's what I think is going through their heads, right? They're gonna like start taking it really, really seriously. Mm-hmm. Impact's been running it down a little bit, but I'm betting playoff Impact is gonna come a little early this time, okay? And Broxa with a couple more weeks under his belt. Another week to mesh with the team. I think they should.
What do you mean, bro? The meta shift.
No, that doesn't matter, bro. Damn, yo, I still wait. I said this in the group chat, but I wish Xmithy was still on the team. Because fucking, man, it's Sedge meta. It's Sedge Trundle meta. This is fucking Xmithy's meta, man. And I had to fucking watch Broxton try and play Lee Sin and Elise. Like, fuck. Get the shit out of here, right? Whatever. I mean, I still think TL's going to win. I think their players are... I think the biggest gap is bot lane and jungle. I think while Broxa has looked bad in 2 games and good in 2 games, Dardak has been inconsistent too.
Yeah, Dardak's early games are quite
inconsistent, very inconsistent. So that's why I put in TL. I understand why you put TSM. We're on opposite sides of the fandom here. All right,
but it's okay because we're gonna talk about the next game, which is Golden Guardians and IMT.
Golden Guardians IMT.
So, do you think IMT is gonna continue their downward slope of just inting games, or do you think Golden Guardians are gonna?
Honestly, yeah. I think Ike is like gonna run it. I think Ike's gonna run it versus Golden Glue. That seems odd to say, right? But Closer has looked like the second best jungler in the league to me, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the fact that IMT have strong jungler and Xmithy should be like negated. The bot lane for IMT isn't like a Smurf bot lane, right? They're not gonna pop off. They're just gonna lane. It's gonna be normal. I think this game really depends on the draft. Honestly,
it
really depends on which team drafts better to me.
But let's say both drafts are even. Who do you have your money on?
I'm going to say Golden Guardians. I think Golden Guardians.
I'm also going to say Golden Guardians.
I think they have the better early game. And
yeah, go on.
Essentially, if they can get Keith on something that they can make plays around, I think it's very doable for them to win, say like a mid 3v3, or for them to win mid 2v2 with Golden Glue and Closer. I think those have been like the 2 best looking players on the team. Honestly, it's hard to say. Closer definitely looks like the best. But Golden Glue has been solid. And I feel like when you match up INT's strength in the jungle and their very big weakness in mid lane versus Golden Guardians' 2 strengths, I think that can tip the scales, right? And it's not like Soa has been smurfing either, right? It's it's Hanzo versus Soaz. They both look like they're just chilling. So
they're just playing the game. They're not inting.
Yeah, they're not inting, right? I'm like, basically, if Golden Guardians bot lane doesn't run it, man, I'm pretty sure they'll win.
Yeah, as long as the drafts aren't completely one side.
Yeah. Oh my god, dude. Wish. Pray for it.
Next game, 100 Thieves EG. Both of these teams are tied right now, right?
They're tied at 4-6.
So, whoever wins here, who won the last time? I believe it was.
It was EG.
Yeah, I want to say EG. So
EG
I think at this point, I don't think EG has gotten any better, like significantly.
Oof, that's
but
rough, bro.
I think it's the same thing for 100 Thieves, to be honest.
Oh, 100 Thieves looks worse.
You say worse. I think they've been like still like the same. Like they haven't like gone down significantly, sort of thing.
They look worse to me because they're relying even more on Someday carrying. If you know what I mean. It's like they completely ran away from the idea that like, all right, the rest of the team, we don't have to play through Someday. We can, put Someday on Ornn. We can play as a team. Nah, they're like, all right, Someday, you're locking in counterpick.
All right, Someday, we're on red side again. You get counterpick.
Yeah, you get counterpick. Like that's what is going on in my brain right now. It's like, all right, Someday gets counterpick. Someday, if he doesn't run it, carries game. So, I mean, the last time they played, this is when Xmithy played Rek'Sai, and Someday literally ran it down versus Soaz. So I'm hoping that Someday doesn't run it down again. But
wait, what team are you talking about? You said Soaz and Xmithy.
Oh, sorry. I said Soaz. I saw the IMT icon, and I just thought about IMT for a second. And I was thinking about the 100 Thieves IMT game. My bad. Fucking hell, yeah. EG won the first time. And I'm trying to remember what exactly happened.
Yeah, I'm trying to pull up the game on the low VODs thing.
But, I mean, neither team has looked particularly good. Neither team has shown improvement, right? I think EG looks like the bigger mental boom team. Oh, this was back in week 1. Holy
Yeah,
shit.
bro. This is a
What
week 1
happened?
game.
Dude, I can't remember what happened then.
All I know is that Ryoma was inting on Rise. But that was
That can
about
happen, you know. That versus Jizuke. Oh, I think this was Jizuke's pop-off game on LeBlanc.
Yeah, he was kind of just
Yeah.
outplaying Ryoma.
Yeah, I remember.
So.
This was Ryoma's Rise game, and he.
But you know what? The run
died.
back. Let's run it up. 100 Thieves.
Oh
100
my
Thieves.
god! Stop! You put them at 8th. What are you doing, dude? Who'd you put at 9th? Golden Guardians. You can't. You can't.
What
Just
do you
say that,
mean,
no.
bro?
You can't.
Doesn't mean EG can't drop a game here and there. You know what I'm saying?
Oh my god! If they drop this game, they're. Okay. Honestly, I think it's mid difference. I think Jizuke is gonna put Ryoma in his place. He's like, go back to O's, kid. Let us get a real import from EU. Not Ica though. He's dog shit too.
All right, let's speed it up a little. Let's go to day
100
2.
versus TL. TL definitely gonna win. I feel like the gap.
I said
too big.
TL def.
Yeah, TL def. If they're being,
I mean,
if they're being TSM, they're being 100 Thieves.
Okay, yeah. For your predictions, that seems right. But for my predictions, I'm also gonna say TL because 100
This guy.
Thieves. 100 Thieves don't look that hot, despite me saying that they'll win against EG. I think that TL, like, obviously, like, their potential is, like, super duper high, but, like, right now they're just struggling. And with another week of practice with Broxa, it's definitely going to benefit them.
Nah,
So.
dude, they've got double lift. They've got all the faith, man. They got all the potential.
All right.
FlyQuest
Dig
versus
FlyQuest.
Dig. Yep. I think FlyQuest looks too clean right now.
I think on a good day, Dig could win this.
Well, the thing is that the last time they matched up, FlyQuest got fucking rumble. So
that too, like the draft was kind of just like,
yeah. Froggy was playing Echo. So that was the the game he ran it down. Like, I don't know, man. That Dig game didn't. That game versus TL did not look good. Like, it looked really bad, honestly. So
look, I'm telling you, if Dig don't run it down, I believe in Dig.
I still think FlyQuest will win because they have Centauran and he's better than Greg.
All right. I'm gonna say Dig though.
Oof.
I believe. I have faith. I just think that on this team, on a good day, when Aframu's on point with his shot calling and Greg isn't like running it down, like you keep saying he does.
Sedge duty.
I think Dignitas can pull the win out. Not saying that FlyQuest is like a super good team because they definitely are. And you know, most people are gonna say FlyQuest, but I have faith in Dig.
Okay. You have faith in Afro.
That too. But CLG TSM.
Ooh, the classic.
Yikes. The classic that has just been TSM cited for like the past, I don't even know, 3-4 years or something like that.
2016 summer.
Yeah, it's been a long time. So I don't see this match going any differently other than TSM taking that W. But who knows? Full Belter could be a 3000 IQ and just Smurf on Bjergsen. Who the fuck knows? But it's definitely going to be TSM.
Yeah, I don't think I can agree. I don't think I can disagree, is what I'm saying. Really sucks for CLG, but it's tough for them to turn the split around. I think they can definitely get wins on the bottom 3 teams, like, you know, GGS, EG, and 100 Thieves. But anybody above that, I feel like it's really hard for them to get wins. I feel like they're too late, you know. Maybe if they switch had come in like week 2 or 3, you know, then we can say like it's possible. But I think it's too late, even with Pobalter, right? Last game on Sunday, Golden Guardians EG. Yo, my boys Golden Guardians coming out with a 2-0 week.
Oh, the first 2-0 week?
First 2-0. No, they got another 2-0 week, I think.
You say you think.
They beat CLG and Dig in week 4. Nah, 2-0 week, baby.
Unlucky.
2-0 week.
You know
They're
what?
coming in with the INT victory and the EG victory.
I also believe, yeah.
Yeah, let's go. Golden Guardians, 6-6.
If I say 100 Thieves are going to beat EG, you know, EG also has to lose to Golden Guardians. So.
True.
But, yeah, I mean, you know, I don't know how EG is so coin flippy. It's just so weird because, like, that team on paper just looks like a middle tier team, but they're just, like, coin flipping so many matches where they just straight up lose or, like, they actually win.
I feel like they have, like, almost no synergy. Like,
Yeah, it could just be like team cohesion's just not there with these
Bang and
players.
Zazel, yeah, Bang and Zazel don't seem like they have synergy. The only real synergy is like Svenskeren and Zazel. But like
Hmm.
when you don't work together with like say mid lane, I feel it's pretty top. It's pretty hard. And Kuma's a rookie, so like it's pretty hard for him in general, right?
Yeah.
I think if they had maybe a different mid, like Jizuka's been performing well, but I think if they had maybe possibly a different mid laner who could mesh better, they'd be in a better spot. Unfortunately, that's not the case. They have team cohesion issues, so definitely looking like a Golden Guardians to win to me.
Same. The Monday Night League. IMT versus CLG. Now, hear me out.
Oh my god.
CLG can't take it, honestly.
Okay.
And here's why.
Uh-huh.
IMT is gonna get exposed to the peak,
Exposed.
to this peak where they go 0-4 this week,
Ooh,
0-4 within
God.
the past 2 weeks, and then it's like, all right, guys, IMT is actually really bad.
No,
So,
they're actually they're 0-3 in the last three. You tell me they're gonna go 0-5?
oh my god, holy shit, they
0
can,
and 5?
honestly, because Pole Vaulter 3000 IQ, you know.
It's true. They lost to EG, they lost to Dig, and they lost to not TL, Cloud9.
But
Losing to
Xmithy can Smurf again.
oof, true. But hear me out. Hear me out. Mid
Go on.
difference. Pope Belter's a lot better than like Pope Belter should have like a spot right
Yeah.
now.
Honestly, Pole Vaulter could like channel in that rage he got. He's like, you know what? I got it. Boom,
like,
just like
NA
fucking kill him like 3 times in lane. GG, whatever.
Yo, I'd laugh if Pope Belter fucking hard smurfed on Ryoma and Ica. I'm gonna spam Twitch chat like, this is the import you got. This is look at that A talent. Like, look at that A talent. Like, I'm hoping for Pope Belter's come up. I'm hoping he shits on every import in the league.
Yeah. See,
Except
like
for
if
Jensen.
I was using my brain here, I'd say CLG. If I'm using my heart, it's also CLG. So I'm going with CLG. Beg to differ, sir. You had a different prediction?
I'm with you. I'm with you. My brain and my heart say CLG. I'm down for it.
All right.
last
Last
game.
game. Unfortunately, it's a C9 game, so.
Oof.
But
it's looking like a C9 victory.
it's against Dig.
It's against Dig.
But it doesn't matter because it's
Doesn't
C9
matter.
because they're fucking 10-0. So I'm not. saying
You know, C9 got the. I mean, Dig got the first kill versus Sven. You know,
They did. But you know what?
ran it
Froggen used
down.
everything.
He flash ulti. Froggen
You know what?
flash ulti
Maybe
fucking Sven.
Froggen will be like, you know what? I'm gonna do it again. I'm gonna keep
gonna
ruining
do it
his
again.
KDA.
Yo, his KDA is already ruined.
You're just gonna keep ruining it. Whatever.
Yeah, it's so hard for me to bet against Cloud9. Honestly, yeah, like that's just it. The only teams I think Cloud9 can lose to are fucking TSM TL. That's it. I think they just got FlyQuest. They smashed so hard. Like it didn't look like team diff and looked like fucking player diff. And I think, and here's the thing that bothers me about LCS is that the top players aren't at the fucking top. Like we know these players are so fucking good. But they're just their cohesion makes them not be at the top. So like that's TSM and TL to me. It's like you have the players, get the fucking teamwork, right? So that's my and it's the most important for TL. Like TL has the fucking players. If they don't win games, it's a fucking problem. You spend like $5 million on these players, man. You better get these wins, bro. You gonna tell me
Yeah.
you're gonna pay $5 million for this roster and not make playoffs? Fuck out of here.
Yeah. Happens. But is there anything else you'd like to add to this episode?
You know, not much, honestly. Just you know, I'm glad we're gonna see 2-minute long team fights again. You know. Honestly, I really hated watching 30
are gonna be insane.
I really hated watching 30-second team fights. I don't know how you felt.
Yeah. I'm kind of indifferent about it. It's whatever. It's like, all right, someone got caught here, so they like got popped instantly. That's cool.
I loved it when it happened to like a quote unquote tank. It's like
Yeah.
it's like you locked in Jarvan and Jarvan dies in 2 seconds. And I'm like, all right, well, That didn't seem very fun, right? Yeah. Akali meta was not a good time. But, I think that's going to do it for this week's episode of the podcast. Thank you, everyone, for listening. Hopefully, in the future, our power rankings will be correct.
Can never guess power rankings correctly, especially for a new
bro.
season.
Hey, man, I have IMT right where they should be, 4th place.
I mean, last year you were actually on the dot about 100 Thieves being last with Bang. So
I told you. I have one good prediction. This one was IMT being 4th at the middle of the split, and last year was 100 Thieves being dead last with fucking Bang.
But all right, that's it for us. We'll see you guys next week.
See you next time.
See you guys next week.